Hi guys, it's Shamsara and welcome back to another video. Now the recipe that I'm going to share with you all today is my grandma's Panjiri recipe. This is made with lots of semolina, lots of clarified butter and dried fruit and nuts. It's the perfect fuel for winter. So let me run through what you need and then we'll start cooking. So the ingredients you're going to need are 375 grams of fine semolina and coarse semolina. Now the reason that I use the both together is because it gives a really nice texture. Now if you don't have the two, then you can just use any one of the other two, and they come in a handy 375 gram pack, so you don't have to go out there and weigh anything. I have here 450 grams of clarified butter. Now if you don't know how to do this, I do have a video and I will leave a link of it in the description box, and also if you have a look at the corner of your screen you can see the link for that there as well, so it shows you how to do that. I have 375 grams of soft brown sugar. I use this as a substitute to the standard granulated white sugar. It gives a really nice caramelized taste, a bit like gur, which I absolutely love. You can obviously use the white sugar, that's entirely up to you. I have here 250 grams of almonds. I've got 125 grams of unsalted pistachio kernels and the same of green raisins. I've got 60 grams of coconut slithers here, which is just a whole dried coconut, and I've just used a peeler and I've just peeled off slithers like that. I've got 60 grams of jarred muggers here, which are known as melon seeds, and I've got a heaped tablespoon of green cardamom powder. So let's start cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually fry our dry fruit and nuts. Now the only thing that you don't fry is the coconut slithers, and I'm going to start off by just preheating the pan that you're using, and you do want to use a slightly bigger pan when you're making this, and just add a little bit of the clarified butter in. We don't want a lot, but just a little bit. And then to that I'm going to first throw in the almonds, and I'm going to throw in the pistachios as well together because they can fry together, and we want to sort of like cook them on a low to medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes until they're really nice and sort of like slightly crisp. You just want them to toast nicely in that, and once they're done we're going to take them out and set them aside, and then obviously carry on frying the next ingredient, and I'll show you how they look once they're done. So after 5 minutes of roasting the almonds and pistachios, we're just going to take them out into a plate. Just turn the heat setting off now because you don't want to burn them, and just gently just pop them into a plate. And into the same oil I'm now going to add the raisins, and again give them a couple of minutes just to sort of like fry away nicely until they plump up a little bit. Just going to turn my heat setting on. Right, now that the raisins are done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out, but I'm going to pop them back into their own bowl, because with the almonds and the pistachios we are going to coarsely grind them, and with this, obviously with the raisins, we're not doing that, we're leaving them whole. So just pop them back into the bowl they were in. And then the last thing to be fried are the jarred muggers, which are the melon seeds. So just straight in and just let them toast as well. And they're done as well now. So just turn the hob off again, and again just remove them into the bowl that they were already in, because we're not grinding these, we're going to pop them in as a whole. Right guys, with the dried fruit and nuts all fried up, I'm going to set them aside, and I'm going to allow the almonds and the pistachios to cool down completely, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it up coarsely in my blender, give it about 2 to 3 pulses, and they'll be perfect. Now if you want a finer sort of like blend of nuts, then go ahead and blitz them to your desired sort of like preference, and just leave them aside, and then I'll show you when to add them in. The next step is to get your pan, the same pan, nice and hot, and we're going to add our clarified butter into this, and just make sure you take it off the edges because you want all of that in there. There we are. And just let that heat up ever so slightly. And to that, I'm going to add both my semolinas in. So in with my coarse semolina, and then the same of the fine semolina. And I'm going to just give that a mix. And you're probably thinking there's a hell of a lot of butter in there, but trust me, the semolina, when it cooks, it will soak all of that up and you won't even see any of that. Now what we want to do is we want to sort of like cook this, bun this on a low to medium heat setting, and it's going to take, I'd say, approximately half an hour to 45 minutes to do this. And it's important that we keep it on a low to medium heat setting, because if you turn it higher, the semolina will catch and it'll burn, and you're going to have a really bitter aftertaste once you get around to sort of like finishing it off. So yeah, keep it moving, keep it sort of like on a low to medium heat setting, and the consistency of the semolina will change, and you'll notice that, because at the moment it's quite gritty, it's quite hard to stir, and your arms will feel that as well. But the more it cooks down, the more you bun it, and it will let off a really nice aroma. The consistency will change and it'll be easier to sort of like move it around in the pan. So once this is ready, I'll show you how it looks in about half an hour to 45 minutes time. Guys, just a quick halfway update I'm giving on this. You can see now that the colour has changed, as well as the texture and the consistency. It's getting easier to sort of like move it around now in the pan, and I can smell the really sort of like nutty, buttery smell coming through. We're going to continue cooking this for the remaining time now, and we're going to make sure this is nice and golden brown in colour. But at this stage, I'm going to add my green cardamom powder in here. Just make sure I get all of that, and just continue to sort of like mix that in, and I'll show you how it looks once it's fully ready. Right guys, this has been now cooking away for 45 minutes, and you can see that it's completely absorbed all of that butter, and it has a slight golden brown colour to it. It's no longer white anymore, and my arm is about to fall off. I've literally been continuously stirring this and my hand's gone red as well. But you've just got to keep going with this and just do what you have to do, because you don't want it to burn or anything. And I'm just going to turn my hob settings off now and just continue to stir it a bit, because obviously it's a ceramic hob. It's still hot from underneath on the base, and this is now ready. And what that's going to do is that's going to just sort of like give off a really nice nutty smell, and you'll know when that's ready. Now to that, I'm going to add, first of all, my slithers of coconut, and I'm also going to add my fried raisins, and also my melon seeds. Now if you wanted to blitz the melon seeds, you could do. I just like the texture of them being like that inside the Sooji, and I'm just going to give everything a mix. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop that to the side, let that cool down slightly. In the meantime, I'm going to go off and I'm going to coarsely grind my pistachios and almonds, and I'll be back to show you how they look, and we'll continue from there. Right guys, I've ground my almonds and pistachios here very coarsely. This is how I prefer mine. Sort of like little bits in there as well, and there's quite chunky bits there, which is quite nice, which gives it a really nice texture. Now if you want them slightly more finer, just grind them a little bit more, that's entirely up to you. And I'm going to now add them straight into my Panjiri. just like that. And then just make sure all of that is really nicely mixed in. My God, it smells amazing. Everything's just giving off a really nice nutty buttery aroma, and it's packed with dry fruits. Look at that. And that's how it should be. It's a bit of a graft to cook the Sooji, constantly just keep running it, but it's so worth it. And now what I'm going to do is to that I'm going to add my sugar. It's slightly warm. It's come down to room temperature a little, and you don't want to add the sugar in when it's hot. So pop that in. Again, like I mentioned, you can use just white granulated sugar. That's entirely up to you. I prefer this because it's obviously gives it, you know, it gives it that really nice sort of like caramelly taste to it. And if I had gur, which is raw cane sugar, I would have used that, because that's what my my grandma, my daddy used to use, and it honestly was something completely out of this world. But I'm just using this because this is the next thing, which is similar to that. And just make sure you mix all of that really, really nicely, really well. We're just going to kind of break down that sugar. God, my arm's starting to hurt. So just make sure you break all of that down, mix it in really, really well. Right guys, this is now ready, and all we need to do is we just need to allow it to come to room temperature, pop it into an airtight container, and just put it away in the kitchen, away from sunlight, and just enjoy that every morning. A teaspoon every other day is perfectly fine. It's very good for new mums, for postpartum. It helps with sort of like the healing inside and the strains of pregnancy, and it's a perfect winter warmer. The start of the winter season is normally welcomed by dishes like these, which are authentic and true to home style cooking. And let me plate this up and show you how it looks. Right guys, my Panjiri is all ready, and I'm going to try this and tell you how it is. And it's full of dried fruits and nuts. Oh wow, the crunchy pistachios and almonds in there, along with the slithers of coconut, and the raisins, the chewy raisins, and the brown sugar that I added gives it a caramelly fudgy taste to it. That's beautiful. Guys, you've got to try the recipe out. You're going to love it. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your family and friends as well. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already, and that bell button to never ever miss a video. I'll be back again with another one very soon. Till then, take care and happy eating.